Hi friends, Stephanie here, and I'm back with more movie chatter. And what I have for you today is a discussion video. And if you've been around the internet, if you've been hanging around YouTube, reading articles, anything that has to do with the business side of movies, you know that there was potentially or is potentially a deal for Netflix to acquire Warner Brothers and their Warner Brothers catalog. And at the last minute, I guess it was yesterday, Paramount announced that they were going to put forth a hostile takeover, as they call it. And it was going to be the Elson family and Jared Kushner, the son-in-law of the President of the United States, along with Qatar and Saudi Arabia, and all this nonsense going on. And that's really not what I'm here to talk about as far as the nuts and bolts of that deal, because really the outcome is not going to be good for us, the consumer, no matter what happens. So we're just watching this unfold in real time. And like I said, my goal with this video is not really to talk about the deal per se, because we don't know 100% what is going on and what the final outcome is going to be. All I want to do here is talk to you about how you can prepare yourselves for whatever happens eventually. And the best way to do that is to own the things that you love. Now, when streaming first started, it really first started with Netflix, and the whole point of it was to be cost effective and convenient for us, the consumers. They decided to start, they were streaming movies, they decided to start mailing out DVDs to people with no late fees and all that stuff. And that's kind of where Blockbuster fell by the wayside. And this was, I think, around 2007. And really, besides the poor business management that was going on with Blockbuster, they decided not to hop on the train of mailing out DVDs to their customers, and that was really a game changer as far as pushing streaming to the forefront and Blockbuster kind of continuing to fall off. And again, I'm not going to get into the nuts and bolts of that, because there's much more than the fact that Netflix decided to send DVDs to people at their homes. But that was the convenience aspect of it. And as time went on and technology evolved, more and more people decided to take up streaming and maybe ditch their physical media collections, stop collecting, whatever. But streaming became the main platform where many people, not collectors like ourselves, but if you're new here and you stop by this video to see what we're about, maybe you're a streamer and you're looking into getting into collecting. But a lot of people, you know, they got rid of their collections. They had collections and they said, you know what, streaming is more convenient. It doesn't take up a lot of space. And as technology evolved and as streaming evolved and became more popular, we ended up in the same situation that we end up with anything. Streaming wars. Everyone had a platform. We had Peacock show up, Paramount Plus, Max, ESPN, all kinds of things came up, Hulu. All these different apps that people could buy, because no person had all their programs on one streaming platform. You always came up to the crossroads of your favorite show. Maybe Netflix lost the rights. For me, the first one was The Office. I used to watch The Office every night before I went to bed. I'd watch an episode or two because I've seen it many times. I'd put it on to relax at night. And, you know, not that I didn't have a physical copy, but I was just laying in bed. Why should I run downstairs and get my, you know, my set of The Office? All of a sudden, it's not on Netflix anymore. Hulu got the rights. And then I have to decide, do I want to pay for another streaming service for one or two shows? No. And what ends up happening is the cost rises. The whole thing was, when streaming started, it was a way for people who were paying these exorbitant cable bills to kind of get into the cord cutting thing, where they did away with cable and they went to this a la carte system where they really originally were saving money because they could just pick 1, 2, 3 services that they wanted. But as more and more services became available and rights were lost and shows were moving from platform to platform, really people were finding that they were now paying for 5, 6, 10 different services, and your price point goes up to almost what you were paying for cable, if not more. And then you have things like censorship, where they can come in and they can censor a movie. Case in point, The French Connection. This was one of the first ones that people were talking about, collectors in particular, because they went in and they censored it. Now here's the thing, I'm an adult. We're adults here. I'm not talking about kids, I'm talking about adults. We can decide if something in this offends us, we don't have to watch it. This is how they talked in the, I guess it was 1971. Maybe they weren't politically correct. Maybe it wasn't correct, but that's how they talked in 1971. The bottom line is, if you own this on physical, no one can come in and take it away or censor it. But streaming, they can. So that was one of the things. Censorship started to come into it, and the costs went up, and all the things that we enjoyed initially about streaming started to change. Then you had the ads coming in, and that's been a recent thing. Ads coming in, and if you don't want ads, you get to pay more to not have ads. When do you go to the movie theater and see an ad running in the middle of your movie? When do you sit down to watch The French Connection on physical media and see ads running? You don't. So these are all reasons why streaming is the streaming experiment is just not working out the way we thought it would for the consumers. Now, I've never stopped collecting physical media, as I know a lot of you here have not, but maybe some of you watching are new, and maybe you did ditch your physical media collection and you're like, okay, now what? So that's kind of what I'm here to talk to you about. We've kind of done an overview of the pros and cons, mostly cons, of streaming in 2025. And at the filming of this video, we are in the middle of December of 2025. We are less than a month away from 2026, and we are now back to having the collecting physical media conversation because it's an important one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run through some reasons and give you some examples of why you should continue to collect the movies and the shows that you love so that you're ensured that you will always be able to watch them, have them in the uncut, uncensored version that you like them. Oh, and one more thing I want to talk about is this thing here. These digital copies that people buy, and they have a digital library uploaded. You don't own this. This can disappear at any time. They can change it. They can censor it. They can remove it. Maybe they lose the rights. Don't fool yourself into thinking that you own digital copies. It's, it might be there for a while. I've had plenty of things disappear from my digital library. I have a very small digital library, but I've had things disappear, so I am very grateful that I have the physical copy. Okay, so let's talk about the benefits of owning physical media and owning your movies and shows that you love. One of the things is that there is a nostalgia. There's a certain nostalgia to it, to going in, picking out a movie, pulling it off the shelf, holding it in your hand, reading the special features, deciding if that's what you want to watch tonight. And it's also intentional. It's not an algorithm throwing things across your screen and telling you, oh, based on XYZ, you're going to want to watch this. Maybe you don't. And you get to decide. With physical media, you get to decide what you're going to watch. You don't have somebody constantly feeding you content and telling you what you should watch. Another thing is that a lot of people I've seen have expressed concern about what's going to happen to these movies that are on Warner Brothers, because when they sell the collection, the catalog, what are they going to do with it? Are they going to throw it on streaming? Are we ever going to get physical media releases from Warner Brothers again? Well, we don't know. We would assume that they're going to put it on streaming. Hopefully they'll continue to put out some physical media. I think that the biggest thing that I've read, the biggest impact is at first, at the get-go, is going to be on the theater, because what they want to do is they want to decrease that window of when things are in theater and when people can watch them at home. And that's really unfortunate for movie theaters, because they could be the next blockbuster that kind of falls by the wayside, because they're already struggling since COVID. And now if streaming comes in and tries to kind of cut out that time where movies are running in the theater, that could be a real problem for theaters going forward. But what I wanted to talk to you about is how you can get some titles in your collection. I'm going to make some recommendations for things that maybe you want to add to your collection before this takes place. And like I said, it's going to be 12 to 18 months before anything is said and done. So you have plenty of time. And when I get done showing you this, I'm going to give you a list, and it will also be in the description, of places that you can buy used or low-cost physical media without breaking the bank and get your collection going. Now, if we're talking about Warner Brothers, we have a brand new one, F1. You can definitely still pick this one up. This is well worth it. It is a vastly improved picture quality over the streaming. A very popular movie, Seven. Go pick up Seven. Get the DVD. Get the Blu-ray. Add it to your collection if it's a favorite film. It's a great one. Another one that people love, Training Day. Definitely, I would have no problem adding this. This would be a no-brainer. It would be right in my collection if I didn't already have it. People love Terminator. Pick up Terminator, add it to your collection. Here's some other ones. Goodfellas. Another fantastic movie. People love Goodfellas. Pick it up, get a copy, get a used copy, get an inexpensive copy. Just have it on your shelf so if something happens, you always have access to it. And this is a Warner Brothers title. A lot of these are Warner Brothers titles. The Departed, another great crime movie, another great mob movie. People love these things. So definitely look into, if you're going to start a collection, pick up a used copy of this somewhere or an inexpensive copy. They're out there, and I'm going to tell you how to get them. Now, another thing that people were worried about is the Warner Archive collection, because that is a collection of great films. A lot of them are older, maybe some cult films, and these are films that are harder to find on streaming. And people are like, "What's going to happen to Warner Archive?" We don't know. I would say Drop Dead Gorgeous is a very, very funny dark comedy about beauty pageants. It's fantastic. Definitely put it on your list. A film noir with Joan Crawford, Flamingo Road, another great one. Now these are all readily available on Amazon, or I'm sure you can pick a lot of them up at these used places that I'm going to talk about. A fantastic film that you can never go wrong with. It's available on DVD, Blu-ray, and now recently 4K, Sunset Boulevard. One of the best films you will ever see. It's a must-have for any collection, so definitely look into that one. A classic with Elizabeth Taylor and Richard Burton, Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf. This is a great film. I love it, and you will too. Now, some funny ones. These are Christopher Guest movies. A Mighty Wind, can't go wrong with that one. Waiting for Guffman, also from Christopher Guest and Company. And Best in Show. I mean, these are three winners that you're definitely going to want to add to your collection if you're in the Warner Archive, collectors group. But Warner Archives has a vast catalog of films. I think they just did, I know they did Stand and Deliver. They did Pump Up the Volume. These are things that are harder to find. So definitely look into Warner Archives on Amazon, because Amazon does run really good sales. Another one that I absolutely love, and you will too, is Whatever Happened to Baby Jane, starring Joan Crawford and Bette Davis. This is a classic. It is a must-have. It's got horror elements, dark comedy, and noir. It's a little bit of everything. If you've not seen it, definitely add it to your collection. Put it on your list to check out, because you won't be disappointed in that one. So those are some Warner titles that maybe you want to think about adding to your collection before everything changes. And again, going back to shows, another one that I found that was on Netflix forever and just went off, and I think it went to Hulu, is one of my favorites, Schitt's Creek. And these are great because the episodes are like 20-something minutes. You can watch a couple, you can put it on while you're relaxing to go to sleep at night, and it is just so much fun. Now, this set, which you can find brand new at Walmart and places like that are selling media, or I'm sure you can find a used collection of this. I paid about $20 for this whole thing, which is cheaper than what my streaming bill was when I was having all the streaming apps. So to own this and to be able to watch it anytime I want, uncensored, the whole deal, all the extras, all the seasons put together, it is well worth it. And I'm sure you can pick this up for a song if you pick it up used. Another one that I love, absolutely fabulous. This is one from the BBC, which you're not going to have an easy time finding this on streaming where you don't have to pay extra for it. And this series ran from 1992 to 2012. And this little set right here that's going for about $19 right now, brand new, has all the seasons, the extra movies, everything. It's uncensored. And I would highly recommend, if you like British comedy, do not sleep on this one. And again, it's probably one that you could find easily as a used copy. But you want to make sure they're lightly used, which is why I'm going to tell you where you should go to get them. And if you don't feel like you need the whole season of anything, if it's just something that you want to watch here and there, pick up a season or two. I had a good friend of mine who was kind enough to, he found these thrifting, he was kind enough to send them to me, a couple seasons of The Golden Girls. And I've never seen this series from beginning to end, but I do enjoy popping in an episode here and there. I think it's fun, it's funny, and you can pick it up anywhere and you still know what's going on. So things like the Golden Girls. Okay, so we've talked about different types of content, different things you should be thinking about for going forward if you're deciding to expand your collection or even start a brand new collection. We've talked about the formats. You have, of course, DVD. There's still VHS as well, but you also have a DVD option. You have Blu-ray options. If you want to splurge and go all out, you have 4K options. You can get full sets of series like the Schitt's Creek DVD series, or if you don't need the whole series, you can just grab a season or two and you have those in your collection to enjoy. But now your next question is probably, well, where do we get the players and where do we find this stuff where we don't maybe have to invest full price and pay $30 for a new release? So that's what I want to tackle next. As far as players, if you have a game console with a drive, a lot of times people are using those as their players. So if you have one in the home, see if it'll play Blu-rays and DVDs, or Blu-rays, DVDs, and some of them even play 4Ks. So a lot of them play 4Ks. So that would be a thing. If you need a player, now keep in mind, you can play DVDs on a DVD player, but you can't play Blu-ray discs. On a Blu-ray player, you can play DVDs and Blu-ray discs, but you can't play Blu-ray discs on a DVD player. I know it's backwards, but you'll figure it out. And 4K, you can play anything you want on 4K. So if you want to invest in a 4K player, just keep in mind that they're a little pricier. Now, as far as where to buy your media, one of the places that I wanted to recommend is a friend of the community. It's Pam over at the Video Game Movie Dome. And she gets a lot of people who turn in their collections. She finds a lot of things thrifting. She has 7 different stores, so she's got a lot of media. And what you can do, I'm going to leave her contact information in the box, the description box down below, in case you don't live locally in like the New Jersey, Pennsylvania area. You can write to her, contact her, and tell her what you're looking for. She'll put together a pile and she will mail it to you. And I know that with Pam, you're going to get things that are in good condition. She's going to check everything out. You're going to get fair pricing and you're going to get great service. So you never have to worry about buying from the Video Game Movie Dome from Pam. You're always going to be taken care of. Highest recommendations for her. Also, another online store is called Hamilton Book, and they sell Blu-rays brand new, but you would consider it like an overstock, like what overstock.com used to be for different like household things. This would be overstock of Blu-rays, and you can get brand new Blu-rays for $5 to $7. And it's just that they buy overstock from different resellers and they sell them. So that's another great way. You can also go to your local Goodwill, pawn shops, thrift stores, any kind of like a yard sale. Like for instance, if I was having a yard sale, you would find physical media and maybe even a player at my yard sale. And I can tell you, as a collector, the physical media that you got would be in pristine condition. But make sure whatever you get, it doesn't matter if it's a 4K or a series or whatever, that you take the disc out, you look at it, you make sure that it's not scratched, that it's not full of fingerprints, that it's in good shape and it's going to play for you okay, and you don't have a problem. Because not everybody takes care of their physical media the same. And some of these, especially the series that people watch over and over again, some of them can get really beat up, and you might want to pass on that until you find a nicer copy. I don't know that I would go for eBay so much because those prices really seem to be jacked up. The service is usually pretty good, but it's tough to find a seller on eBay that's not looking to flip things and make a lot of money. So hopefully that helped you, whether you're an ongoing collector, a seasoned collector, or someone and you're just worried about the future of physical media, or if you're someone who maybe dumped their collection and you're looking to add just your few favorite titles so that you have what you want in case something happens and it's not on streaming anymore. You can also find it as a way to dump some of your streaming services and cut those monthly expenses down. So hopefully you found this helpful. If you have questions, please leave them in the comment section. I'm happy to answer them. If you want more videos like this moving forward, I can do that. We can get into it, how to navigate this new situation that we find ourselves in. And like I said, I don't think it really matters the deal that goes through. I think we're definitely all going to feel some sort of an impact, but I can tell you that I am very grateful to have my physical media collection, especially at this time. So that's going to do it for me today. I hope you found this helpful. I hope I didn't bore you to death. I hope you found some things to get you started on your physical media journey or to keep you moving forward. And again, if you have questions, drop them in the comments down below. I want to thank you as always for watching. You know I appreciate each and every one of you. If you're new here and you like content about physical media, consider subscribing. You can always like, hype, do all the things that we do. We're heading up on 8,000 subscribers, trying to get there, and we'll get there one of these days. But expect to see Pickle in an upcoming video because I heard she has some plans, so keep an eye out for her. That's going to do it for me today, so I'm definitely going to catch you in the next one. And for now, that's a wrap.